the person was falling back off of the concrete, and I went to save them, and I wound up in the process of holding their head, wound up hitting my face.
Ooh, slammed.
Yes.
Okay.
I kind of didn't realize what happened like at the time. I kind of blacked out at the moment because I hit my head so hard.
Hey, what's up? It's Jessica Jeans, and we are here at Up Above Entertainment and getting a behind the scenes look at some of our Up Above Entertainment artists. And today we have Dekota Blu. Thank you for being with me today.
Thank you for having me.
Man, it's a pleasure. So it's always a great time to have you in the room. You always kind of have this vibe to you and aura that you bring into the room. So
Thank you.
I'm definitely feeling the look today.
Thank you.
Where's the inspiration from?
Passion. I just wanted to show my passion for music. Passion for what I do. I wake up, I breathe it. I dream about it. It's just always been with me since I was younger. So yeah, I'm showing my passion today.
Yeah. You're always show ready.
Yeah.
Do you have a show tonight?
No, not tonight, but
Okay.
tomorrow for
All
sure.
right.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's at If You Know, You Know, 1008 Prairie Street. But yeah, definitely.
All right. So we want to get to know a little bit about Dekota Blu.
Yeah.
You're a whole brand out here because not only are you an artist, singer, writer, performer, but you're the performances that you put together and the way that you work a room with your designs, with because I can just we can already just look like you're just a walking piece of art.
Thank you.
And so with that being said, I do want to know some of your inspirations, but take us back, with Dekota Blu and how you began this whole music phase in your life.
Yeah, so it started when I would say my mom said I started singing since I've been like 4 years old. So I guess that's when it started, right? Then I started writing music when I was like 10, 11. And my grandma happened to hear me one day. I was singing Yes, Jesus Loves Me from Whitney Houston, The Bodyguard.
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, you're singing at the family reunion. And I was like, what? So that set everything off, set everything ablaze. Since then, I've sang at church. I've been in different talent shows. I've been at South by Southwest. I've been on American Idol. I've been on The Voice. I've been to a lot of different places. I do artist development. I went to school, trained for a lot of different things. In high school, like opera, I'm opera trained since high school. I just thoroughly enjoy music, all different genres of music. There's not just one thing that I just listen to. I'm inspired by a lot of different people, from Mariah Carey to Boyz II Men to Whitney Houston to Luther Vandross, to Aerosmith, Linkin Park, so many different people I've listened to over the years. Evanescence, just I've been inspired. I'm a melting gumbo pot of what I've listened to over the years. So I'm just like a walking music box, but I just literally enjoy music.
Yeah. So you said you started writing at 10 years old. What was the concepts you were writing about at 10?
So the first gospel was my first love. So I wrote this song about Yeshua. And then after that, I grew into writing about like different experiences that I've seen over the course of the years, from intricate relationships to inspirational music, to love, to breakup. I have a whole like catalog of different music that I have yet to share with the world, and I can't wait to do it.
Okay. So you've been with Up Above Entertainment about a year now. And tell us a journey that it was to get you involved with Up Above Entertainment.
Yeah, it's definitely been a process. I would say that from auditioning to having to come back and audition, really give 1,000% of myself, meet everybody, bring that wow factor to everyone, come in here, write a song, bang a song out. A couple of songs actually during the process. One of the songs was Here We Go Again, which just got released today.
Congratulations.
Love that song actually. So there was a time slot. I had 4 hours to pick a beat, write a song, get it recorded, and all of that. Well, because of delays, I only wound up getting 2 hours to do it. I wrote the song in 30 minutes, recorded it in about 15, and then boom, here we are. And so I love the song. I got to perform that song like right after the holidays for the ending show. I didn't make it, but I definitely don't think that just because I didn't make it, that stops the train. So as you can
Right.
see, I'm still
Still
here
here. Yeah.
today.
So this was a talent show that was
hmm
held together with Up Above Entertainment. A
hmm
few of the artists that we spoke to
hmm
have already talked about the talent show and
hmm
the process. And there was that challenge, right, of
hmm
doing the song.
Yeah.
They had 4 hours. You had to
hmm
knock that out the park. And
Yes.
you said you didn't initially get picked. What was that?
So after I recorded Here We Go Again, we had the opportunity for all of us to record our music. I mean to perform our music.
Okay.
And so after performing that, I think it was like the top 10. They just were looking for different things that accommodated the label. But at that particular time, I didn't get chosen, and that's perfectly fine because, like I said, it didn't stop the show. So I'm still
Mm-hmm.
here. I'm still pressing. I'm still going. Still bringing the passion, the fire, and they asked me to come back, so I'm here.
Yeah, yeah.
hmm
So you mentioned earlier that wasn't your first talent show that you've done.
hmm
So you did do American Idol.
hmm
Tell me about that experience.
So this was in 2014,
Hmm.
and I was living in Atlanta at the time. Um, During that time, it was a journey, like for itself. I was going through a lot of different things. I was working for this company that was up and down. We were working like 16 hours, 18 hours some days, 10 hours,
What kind of company
and
was it?
it was a medical company. We had to deal with a lot of different patients and signing off on them and making sure that their codes and stuff were clear through the doctor, looking through their paperwork and stuff like that.
Hmm.
But it was still nice. I mean, the people there were nice. It was just a very strenuous job and tedious job
Yeah.
at the time, and I was just like, ooh, yeah, I gotta focus on my passion. So I went to American Idol. I wound up making it through the stadium round because there's multiple rounds. Made it through the stadium round. Then they were like, you gotta come back, and they give you like this really thick document to sign. And then you got to check your email every day for like 3 months.
Mm.
And then after that, um, they give you a secret location. You go to the location. You got to show up at like 5 o'clock in the morning. They tell you don't bring no outside water, no outside food, nothing. You start off at like the top, and then you just keep going down. And then what they do is they tell you like, hey, you step up, you sing, you step up, say what we ask you to, say or whatever. And if you make it, great. If you don't, you're cut. So I had made it all the way down to meeting the producers of the show, and they had bring you in this dark room where there's only just one light in there, and you step up there to sing. You don't see none of their faces, and literally they're like, okay, sing. So when I had sang, I was tired. Like I had no water, I had no food, I had nothing at the time. And I had sang King of Leon's Use Somebody, and then I had also sang one of my songs that I had written. And they were like, we love that, but we want to hear something else.
Yeah.
And I did not have any more energy left in me. So I was like, I would love to, but I have like no energy. I have no water. I'm parched. I can't do that. So I was like, I want to do it, but I can't. And the guy was like, are you sure you can't do it? And I was like, I'm sure I can't, because I'm on the verge of like passing out.
Wow.
So I wound up leaving. But that was my experience with American
Yeah,
Idol.
that sounds so
Mm,
crazy. It
mm.
sounds like torture,
It
like a boot camp,
it
like
was a
a
boot
talent
camp.
show boot camp
Yeah,
nightmare.
it was. It was so crazy. I
Wow.
thought about like, dang, I need to like next time, put some stuff like wear a big
Yeah,
coat
no
or something.
outside water. What?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah.
But you made it through. You
Yes,
survived that,
yes, I
and here you
did.
are.
Yes, here today. Yes.
Now you said that so when you were a little boy, you'd already be singing and kind of doing that thing. What
Mm.
what was your upbringing like, and where were you raised?
Military family. I was born in Alaska, raised mostly in Alaska. We lived in California on Edwards Air Force Base.
Mm.
My senior year, we wound up moving to Texas. And then after that, I just kind of traveled around on my own for
Military
work.
brat. Okay.
Yep. So I've always been a pioneer moving around.
All right. So you were always a new guy and at the schools and making new friends
Mm-hmm.
and okay.
Mm-hmm.
So did that have anything, I've heard other people talk about when they've had to move from place to place that develops a lot of character,
It does.
and it also brings out um, your passions, your creativity. Do you maybe account for some of that,
Yes.
and give that credit?
I'm very well cultured because I've been around so many different cultures. Um, from Samoans to Filipinos, Black, White, Chinese, Asian, Koreans, Taiwanese, like so many different people. And I enjoy every person that I've met in those chapters of my life. So it's been great.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. So, I mean, I can definitely see with your personality how you could be a global artist.
Hmm.
Is that one of your goals? What's your
Yes,
goals?
my goal is to be an international artist. I want to be a household name. I want my music to touch people. I want it to resonate with them. I want it to be a timeless thing that you can listen to it now. You can listen to when I'm not here anymore. I just want to create a solid foundation for good, timeless music.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Have you ever felt because you moved around and you had to, be in different spaces maybe that you didn't decide. Was there ever times where you felt like you weren't accepted?
Yeah, there's been plenty of times where I've heard like during audition processes, like we see your potential. That's been the
The nice way to
yeah. And for me, I always started to question myself, like, hey, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. But what I found, like over time, is that I needed to level up. I needed to dive deeper within myself. I needed to fine tune myself and be the best version of myself. Instead of looking outward for outward approval, I started looking inward and started building on myself inward. And since I've been building inward, it's been, spilling over outwardly. So that's been my focus. But yes, I've had plenty of rejections. I've had plenty of people tell me like, nah, or I didn't like how you sang that, or I didn't like your music, or I didn't like you
wow.
I didn't like your falsetto because you singing like this, X, Y, Z. But hey, everybody has their own opinion. What matters at the end of the day is do I like it, and do I feel comfortable with it? So I
Right.
started honing in on that more.
Good. I
Mm,
know we've had some conversations before, and
mm,
we're spiritual and we're
mm,
deep and things like that. So when you
mm,
talk about that inner work
mm,
and how important that is as an artist,
mm,
right? Because if you do let these outside influences influence you,
mm.
then it's done.
Exactly.
It's done. So, what are some of maybe the practices that you do on a day to day that maybe could help other people who are experiencing those doubts and things going on?
Yeah, all I gotta say is foundationally through music, if you're trying to be a singer, be a great vocalist. That way you can go into those many directions. What does that look like? That means doing your vocal lessons. That means honing in on your breathing. That means maybe running in place and breathing. That means just
Mm.
doing a lot of different things to develop your sound. And then after you do that, start working on yourself because you got to be comfortable with you. You might sound like an amazing person, but the difference between you and the next person is do you believe in yourself? So you got to believe in yourself too. So, looking in the mirror, giving yourself permission to be happy, giving yourself permission to do good, saying like, I deserve this. Because a lot of people feel like they don't deserve true happiness.
Mm.
And you have to give yourself permission and also forgive yourself too for the things that you let yourself go through and others so
Wow.
you can really, be in that moment. Because a lot of people are not in those moments. They're too busy trying to focus on how do I sound? Do I look good? This is that and the third. But when they're really tapped into themselves, the true part of music is it starts in here. So
What are some of the things you've forgiven yourself for?
I've forgiven myself for allowing myself to go through toxic relationships. I've forgiven myself for, not believing in myself in certain moments, doubting myself, even doubting my own intuition. Like I've had that gut feeling and I've been like, you know what? Like, wow, I questioned myself. And
Yeah.
now I'm kicking myself in the butt
Like I knew
because,
better.
yeah,
I knew
exactly,
it.
exactly.
Hmm.
And, I forgive myself for a lot of different things, for not allowing myself to enjoy the moment, for not allowing myself to really be in the moment. You know what I mean? So once I've done that, and I'm like, look, forgiveness is like empowering yourself. People think it's like, oh, I need to let
Oh,
someone
you
back
let
in.
somebody slide.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's I take my power back. So once I forgive them and I forgive myself, that's the first step. Now it's filling that space with more positive things, more positive experience, more positive affirmations. So you're ruling out all the negativity and even that empty void that sometimes creeps in there.
Have you written a song about those experiences?
I have. It's called Complicated. Yeah.
Complicated.
hmm
All right. Is that part of the new album or has that already been released?
I haven't released it yet. It's
Okay.
actually a song that I wrote when I was 15 years old.
Okay.
hmm
15 years old.
hmm
So why have you sat on this song for this long?
Um, because I wanted to hone in on the sound of it, and I wanted it to be where I wanted to be first, before I had released it. So now it is where it needs to be.
Oh, okay.
hmm
All right. So we're about to hear it.
Yes, you are.
Okay. So
Definitely.
you take this very seriously. When you're talking about your music, you're not just putting music out to put music out. Like,
No.
I mean, we're talking about since you were 15 years old, you're holding on to a song until it's perfect.
Yeah.
What's that process like for you on a regular basis when you put out a song or when you're recording and writing it?
Yeah. When I'm recording and writing, I vibe. Sometimes it comes to me, it like downloads into my spirit, and I hear everything from the lyrics to the words to the harmonies to everything when I'm writing. And then sometimes I just hear the words, or I'll just hear the melodies, and then I have to fill in the words. Um,
Mm.
but that's how my process is. I like to, when I hear a beat, I like to draw from different inspirations. So if I hear a beat that kind of reminds me of, let's say, Carrie Hilson or Chris Brown, or it reminds me of multiple artists, like maybe Ariana Grande, I'll think about all of them and then I'll be like, okay, well, how would they do this? Or how can I Frankenstein this thing together? So
Oh,
that's
yeah.
kind of my
It's a
process.
science. I love
Definitely.
that. I
Yeah.
love that. So you mentioned also about helping with artist development. So you're well rounded in the music industry, not just you as an artist
hmm
yourself, but what are some of the other things that you've tapped into in the music industry?
Yeah, I definitely have tapped into the personal development side, and the artist development side, because those fundamentally go together. I'm also a licensed life coach, so as far as that goes, when I'm dealing with another artist, I like for them to understand who they are, so that we can understand where they're gonna go, right? Because
Hmm.
if you don't know who you are, you don't know your trajectory. Um, and so, what I like to ask, the first question I like to ask is, "Who are you?"
What do you normally get when people are they stunned or they do they know that answer?
They don't.
Mm.
Oftentimes they don't know who they are. So then I start asking, well, if you had to explain what type of artist you are, then let's give me some adjectives. What does that sound like? And they're like, well, I'm powerful, or I'm sassy, or I'm this, or I'm that. And I'm like, okay, great. So this is a part of who you are. So like, and then I asked them, like, what is your purpose in music? What is your reason for doing it? Do you just want to be seen? Do you like attention? Do you want to be a staple? Like we dive into there, so we get all in there
Yeah.
because it's super super important for them to know who they are.
Right. And what is your purpose?
My purpose is to touch everyone's lives, to literally give love to people. My music is for the unsung heroes, for the
Mm.
people that like myself, like you don't ask for attention, you just do it because this is what you love to do every single day. And whether it's seen, heard, or not, I mean, it is going to be eventually, but whether it's seen, heard, or not, you're still doing it, and that builds the whole character of who I am. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, you definitely have a fashion sense about you, and you have your own clothing brand and line.
Thank
So
you.
let's talk about that and how you decided, look, I'm just an overall creative, right? So when did you launch and basically like tell us a little bit about your designer side.
Yeah, Dekota Blu was launched earlier this year. It's actually been a long-standing project. I would say it was inspired probably about 2017. I was like, I need something else besides music. With the music industry just changing and evolving, back then, there were CDs and records and all that type of stuff that people could monetize their sales off of because people were buying CDs. Now it's streams, and nobody's buying stuff,
Right.
unfortunately, like that. So you could buy a whole CD for, $14.99 or $12.99. Now it's free basically.
Yeah.
So it's a
Yeah.
lot different. And so, adding layers to yourself, right? So I had to start tapping into other facets of myself. Like people always ask me like, or do you dress other people? Do you
Right.
do you
Like stylists
yeah, are
and
you
okay, yeah.
yeah, they always ask me my stylist and stuff like that. But I've always had like a fashion since it's evolved over time. I've just always been into when people first see you, that's what they look at. They're like, who is this person? How are you dressed? How are your teeth? All that sort of thing. So I've just really tapped into, you know, individualism, my own sense of individualism. And that's how I got into the clothing. Because I'm like, I feel different. I
Yeah.
feel like I am different. So how does clothing complement me? So that's how
Yeah.
I've kind of dived into it.
Yeah, and I've seen you
Mm.
rock the shows and you look incredible on a lot of your videos and things at the live shows, and people are welcoming you and receiving you so well, and you really know how to work a room, right? What is the support like with your family? So what has that been like? Have they been completely, 100% supportive? How's that been like?
My family has definitely been supportive, more so on the like we're rooting for you side. Um, but this has been my own journey.
Mm,
And I think that fundamentally, if I think some people don't know how to support, but they are supportive. I just think that music is not their focus. My family, I
mm.
was raised in a house that was, more so football driven and sports driven. So it's a different pivot from sports to music. Um, it's a little bit more of a long standing journey. So with that, they support me, they're rooting for me. But, as far as like getting down in the trenches, no,
Yeah.
that's my own journey.
Yeah, and that's why I asked because you did mention the military family,
Mm-hmm.
and I know a lot of families and different artists that I've talked to over the years where the same thing. They feel like this is my journey because their parents either wanted a different route for them to go. They had different hopes for them or aspirations for them, as parents tend to do, right?
Yeah.
They mean well,
Yes.
but at the same time, it's like some of people just don't understand it.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, how have you navigated through that?
It's been challenging. I'm not gonna lie. There's been times where I burnt out between working jobs, trying to stay afloat, trying to make sure that I'm good, make sure the people around me are good. I kind of have that big brother syndrome of taking care of other people around me and making sure everybody else is good, and then also trying to do my music too. And there's been times where it's just been too much, and I've taken a break from
Yeah.
it all.
And what does taking a break look like for Dakota Blue?
Um, Vacation, alone time, um, sitting and writing. I'm still always doing music.
Like it's not a hobby, it's a
Yeah,
lifestyle.
it is a lifestyle for sure. But just really having more time to myself. I just kind of isolate myself.
You need that to recharge?
hmm
Okay.
Yeah, I'm more of an isolator when I'm recharging. So a quiet time, just chilling, praying, meditating, having a good drink from time to
Yeah.
time. Just really just enjoying myself.
And when you get on stage, it's a whole different vibe.
Yes,
What
definitely.
is that feeling like when you hit the stage? And because, you who you are,
Mm-hmm.
Russell as you are,
Mm-hmm.
right? But when you,
Bruxelles.
yeah, who said? So when you get on stage and you're Dakota Blue, what does that feel like on stage?
It feels like purpose.
Mm.
It feels like I'm stepping into me when I'm up there, and I am sharing with everyone my energy, and I'm giving them me, and I'm watching what I put so much time, effort, energy into affect them. Like I'm seeing their faces light up. I'm seeing I'm seeing all the energy like touch them, like not just mentally, but here too. They're walking away with something, like wow, like this was a whole experience. It wasn't just I just heard some music, So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
electrifying for me.
yeah. And I know that the projects are done
hmm
that you have here with Up Above Entertainment.
hmm
So, what project, what single that you have coming are you most proud of?
Um,
You're like, I write so many. I don't remember what the name of the song is.
I was trying to think.
Because
I
you,
want to know your name.
yes, yes.
That is the one I am most proud of. I love that song. I like all the different. I think what I like most about that song is all of the melodies and the way that the song flows. And I just think about how just how that's going to translate when I'm performing that. So
Yeah. So, where did you get the inspiration for that record?
that just downloaded. That just hit me. It just came. I wrote that song in like 20 minutes as well. I
Okay.
was sitting right here
So, you got the
rehearsing.
beat. You're listening to it.
hmm
So when you say that you can hear the melody or you can hear the words, like how could you translate to someone who has no idea what you're talking about?
You know how some people just have certain talents for themselves? Like you're gifted in just speaking to people, right? It's not really something that you have to think about. It just
Hmm.
flows effortlessly. And you don't know where the words are coming from. You don't know where the questions are coming from.
Yeah,
Nothing.
it's
It
just
just it
yeah.
hits you. Or
I'm
just
just
like when somebody who's a race car driver, they get behind the wheel and they know exactly what to do. Some of it, yes, is repetition. Some of it's a muscle memory, but it literally just flows like water. That's all I can say.
and does that happen a lot or do you sometimes get that writer's block? Does that ever happen to you?
Um, I don't. I do get writer's block every blue moon. Um, and I wouldn't say it's just a writer's block. I would say when I'm experienced those moments, it's my body saying to me, "You haven't experienced enough yet, so go out and get more experiences."
Oh,
hmm
okay. That's interesting.
hmm
Interesting. Has there ever been a moment where you're, because most people write a lot of times out of pain or sorrow and things like that, but I've never really seen you, because you're a great spirit. So when you get irritated or you're upset, has there ever been a song that you wrote out of anger?
I have written a song about some pain, but no, I don't try to focus on that. Like I use that when I am on stage. I'll go out and use that while I'm performing.
Yeah. So it's almost like if you do have that any type of anger or pain, you just kind of, hey, look, I'm just gonna rise and show out.
I am even more, or I'll go to the gym, or to a dance studio or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Yeah,
So what type of personality would you say that you are?
I feel like I'm a Renaissance personality. Like I feel like I'm well rounded. Like when it's time to turn up, let's have fun. When it's time
Okay.
to chill, it's time to
Oh,
chill.
I
When it's
seen you
time to
turn up.
yes, when it's time to talk trash, yes. When it's time to be, very poised and
Yeah,
all
then
that type of
demure.
stuff, then yes, for sure. I feel like I'm a very well-rounded personality. I feel like I'm pretty conservative for the most part. I feel like there's a time and place for everything. Um, when it's time to be, when I'm with my friends, we have our thing. When I'm with my family here at Up Above Entertainment, we have our thing.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's just like I said, I would probably say my personality is I'm like an ogre. I'm ogres. I like onions.
Like
Yeah,
layers.
yes. So many layers.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what type of people do you prefer to be around? Since I mean you are well-rounded, right? So you can be in any situation or environment, but what do you prefer to be around
I'd say that the makeup of my friends are pretty well rounded.
as well?
Mm-hmm. Yep. We all have our different extremities. I do have some friends that love to talk my ear off. And then I do have some friends that are real, quiet, chill, and relaxed, but they know how to carry a conversation when need be. I have my friends, my going out friends that like to do that. But again, it just depends on how I'm feeling. I probably say they're all different. They're all different in different segments. So, yeah. But I'd say the person that I'd hang out with is probably just someone probably well rounded like myself.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Your music, I feel, is the same.
Hmm.
You know, because I've heard, just you do different styles. Like you said, you have the, a falsetto,
Hmm.
and then there's times where I'm not expecting it because your voice can be real soft, and then it'll just like you'll just belt something out, and I'm like, oh wait, Dakota, I didn't know you had that in you. So, have you done any vocal training, or you're just self-taught? How have you
Um,
prepared yourself?
yeah, so I was trained in high school. I started off like I was the first male to hit varsity choir in ninth grade. So I was classically trained through high school, but then after that, I just basically self-taught. I'd watch YouTube videos. Eric Arsenault, shout out to you, because I've been watching him for a long time. And then piano. I used to play the piano all the time, so I would just do scales
Okay.
all the time.
All right. So
Mhm.
you're practicing,
Mhm.
and okay, because you did say opera.
Mhm.
So how did that happen? Was that in high school as well,
High
or
school.
okay?
Yep. Mhm.
And do you still dabble in some opera?
Yeah, I'll put it in certain aspects of my songs.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them haven't been released yet, but yeah, I'll put in certain aspects of my songs. Opera singers have great breath control, so it was one of the many things that helped me with my breath control.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you have some projects coming out with Up Above Entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of vibe, if someone is has never heard anything from Dakota Blue, what can they expect with your projects?
People like to call me Trap Maxwell.
Trap Maxwell.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense to me.
So I'm just gonna run with that. I'm just gonna
Okay.
run with that.
A
So
Trap Maxwell.
yeah.
And is there any artists? Because I know you've got some features, some collabs that you've done
Mm-hmm.
with Up Above Entertainment
Mm-hmm.
President Little Flip, the
Yes.
Freestyle
Shout out.
King.
Yes.
Yeah, so he's going to be on which single?
Um. Uh.
Is
I
it
want to know
I
your
Want to Know
name.
Your Name?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So is there any other collaborations that you're looking to do that you haven't tapped into? Like, kind of a bucket list type of.
Yeah,
Okay,
for
who?
sure.
Tell me.
I mean, who wouldn't want to do a song with Beyonce? Who wouldn't want to do a song
Mm.
with Tyler? Or who wouldn't
Interesting.
want to do a song with oh my gosh, he's a phenomenal writer. Um, Tank. I'd love to write a song with him or T Pain.
Yeah.
Or another person is Duran Bernard, an amazing vocalist.
I'm not familiar with him.
Yeah, amazing vocalist.
Okay, I'm at to look him up now.
Yes, definitely. Shout out to him. He's also a Grammy award-winning artist as well.
Okay.
Oh, I'm speaking that into existence.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And on top of that, he works with Erica Badu. I'd love to do a song with her too. Just phenomenal. So,
All right, so let's go
yeah.
ahead and manifest something right now.
Heck
Okay.
yes.
Tell me your Grammy speech.
Okay. Um, if I had to do a Grammy speech, I think I'd be quiet for about 2 seconds.
Let's zone in. Let's meditate. We're going to look back at this interview and be like, look at that.
No, I mean, when I think about all the different people that have won, like the first person that comes to mind, of course, is like Whitney Houston, and she was like, "I'm a survivor."
Oh,
So,
man.
but no, I think when I get up there, I'd probably just be like, I am just, I have no words. Like I am so thankful. I am so thankful. Praises be to Yeshua. I'm just so thankful, like all day, every day, and I I don't know. Like, I think I just thank everybody who has been a part of the project, Up Above Entertainment, family, friends, all the people who believed in me, all the people who, didn't even believe. Thank you so much for not believing,
Mm.
because that pushed me harder.
Yes.
I thank all my life experiences that I've been through. I thank, the Grammys. I just would shout out to anybody who feels like they should stop, because don't. And when you feel like you're about to break is when you need to keep going. If you're not pushing yourself to that point, then you're not doing enough.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. We're about to manifest that. I'm in
Yes.
agreement with you. Is there anything that we need to know about Dekota Blu? Anybody who's watching right now and you want them to know about Dekota Blu?
That I go hard. I've been through a lot this year.
Tell us something that you've been through this year.
Yeah. I was in 3 different car wrecks this year. Three.
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 Okay, because I know about one.
Yep. I was in three.
Okay, well, thank goodness that you're okay.
Yes, and none of them were my fault, but still, take care of yourself. Watch people on these roads
Because Houston's crazy.
Houston is crazy for sure. Always document, that type of stuff when that does happen. I took a nasty fall trying to save somebody else from falling. I mean, my face is healed up a lot, but you would never know.
Wow. How did that make you feel though? Because your face is, that's your moneymaker too, you know what I mean, as well as your voice. And so, you're a person of presentation and things like that. Like, knowing that you didn't know what your face could, what if it would possibly heal. So can you tell us a little bit about how that happened and what your thoughts were?
Yeah, out having a good time celebrating after the Barber Expo. The person was falling back off of the concrete, and I went to save them, and I wound up, in the process of holding their head, wound up hitting my face. So,
slammed.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was a very nasty fall. I kind of didn't realize what happened, like, at the time. I kind of blacked out at the moment because I hit my head so hard. But nonetheless, I'm here by the grace of God, and what I can say is, like, I got good skin, so I knew that it was gonna heal. I knew it was gonna heal, but the process of going through that healing process by yourself and alone, a lot of times, those moments where I'm alone, I'm like, dang, like, am I by myself? But I'm like, no, I'm not by myself. I didn't even want to let those thoughts, creep in, but I just wanted to make sure that healing takes time, not be too hard on myself, because I was beating myself. I'm like, I can't go to here. Well, maybe I can go here because it happened right before Halloween. And I'm like, maybe I can tell people, this is part of my costume.
Wow.
And even when I went out a couple of times, the people were like, there was a couple of people that knew me. That was like, oh, that's a nice, Halloween costume. Who did the makeup? And I'm like, oh, the ground.
Yeah,
they're like,
my God.
They're like, who? They're like, who is that? I've never seen them before. I'm like, no, literally the ground. So,
wow.
But it was something to kind of laugh about.
Yeah,
I kind of laughed it off, but it still was a painful laugh. But it was so cool.
Yeah, I mean that and then the 3 accidents in 1 year. So what are you thinking at this point? Like, is the world against me? What is going on?
No, I'm like, Lord, you must have a destiny for me, because I'm like, I don't know what you're trying to teach me out of this. But I've learned. I feel like I've learned it. So I feel like I've learned it. So yeah, it's just been a very interesting process, healing from that, and trying to take it easy during that, because I'm always going hard. So
you have a show probably almost every other day.
Every other week.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, you're working a lot.
Yeah.
And you still have a regular job.
Yep.
Okay.
And then I got 2 puppies. So, and she just had her puppies. So,
oh my God.
Yep,
You gramps.
Yep. I'm her granddaddy.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
busy.
yeah, it's been a nonstop process.
So do you feel like there's a balance, or you think one suffers more than the other at times? And how do you balance?
I feel like there's a season. There's seasons for everything. When I have time to take off, I'm turning everything off. I'm closing doors, turning off lights. I'm just not doing absolutely nothing. I mean, it rarely happens, but when it does, I take full advantage of it. But I feel like right now is my season to work and to really get into it. And once I've gotten to a certain plateau, then I will take a deep breath.
Okay. Right now you're planting seeds,
Mm-hmm.
waiting for that
Planting
harvest.
seeds.
Planting seeds.
Mm-hmm. Watering this grass.
Yeah, yeah.
Outside. And when it's time to wait, great. But right now, no. I don't feel like I've achieved the level of success that I want to yet. So until I have achieved that level of success, then I'll take a break.
What does that look like?
I need to be a household name. I need to be walking across Grammy stages.
Okay.
I need to be rubbing shoulders with them people. I need invites. I'm just, like I said, I'm ready for that. So.
Yeah, I read something today that said something about if you have if you're uncomfortable in certain situations and you just know that you belong somewhere else, that you just belong in other situations, that's your soul itching, like keep going.
And one thing, speaking of uncomfortable, one thing that God told me is that I needed to learn to be uncomfortable. I had to get comfortable with being
Being
uncomfortable.
uncomfortable.
So since I have developed that and made that a part of my lifestyle, that's why I'm like, I don't know if you're testing me because these situations have been uncomfortable, but I'm still going. So I just have learned to be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
I love that. I
Hmm.
love that. And I really really enjoy your spirit. Every time I'm around Dakota Blue, we always get into these conversations about, soul and spirit
Hmm.
and, downloads and things like that. And I think
Hmm.
that that makes you so unique. And like I said, you work a room, you work an aura as soon as you enter the room. And I feel that. I don't know if a lot of people do, but I feel like I feel it.
Yeah.
And so because of that, I know that you're already doing what you're set out to do, and that's to touch and to impact and to
Hmm.
leave a piece with people, because you do that. When I've seen you perform, whenever I seen you perform,
Hmm.
and I look and I see the crowd and everyone's just kind of like, they're leaving with something, definitely.
Hmm.
So I just want to say that I'm proud of you. I believe in you,
Thank you.
and I'm in total agreement with your dreams and your aspirations, and I definitely see that coming. So keep up the good work,
Thank
Dakota.
you. I'm trying.
All
I'm
right.
doing.
All right. Well, tell everyone where they can find you so they can keep up with all of your live shows and how they can tap in.
Yes, you can go to dekotablu.com. That's DEKOTABLU.com. You can also go to Instagram, Facebook. You can find me on any live streaming platform. You can go to upaboventertainment.com and find me on there as well. Again, it's Dekota Blu. None of it's changed. That's DEKOTABLU.
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 Everybody, that is Dakota Blue. This is Up Above Entertainment.